welcome back to the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference Facebook Live series. My name is Brianna Smith, and I am the Executive Director of the conference. And during this weekly series, I sit down with some of our amazing speakers to talk about the hottest topics in marketing and the upcoming conference. So today, I'm really excited to have a special guest, speaker Johnathan Barnes. Johnathan has worked with brands of all sizes to build omni-channel digital marketing campaigns for more than 14 years. With experience working for both brands and ad platforms, he has seen how fragmented the digital media ecosystem has become. Johnathan became an early adopter of programmatic technology because it provided a way to break down barriers and streamline digital media buys across multiple channels. He launched Popular Science to help organizations navigate the complexity of programmatic and unlock its vast potential. He works with brands to create the omni-channel customer journeys that target the right audience on the right device with the right message. I'm so excited today to talk to Johnathan all about programmatic advertising. Welcome, Johnathan.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So can you tell our audience a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, I've been in ad tech for about 15 years now. Done a lot of performance marketing, a lot of performance advertising, and really kind of when programmatic really kind of started becoming a thing, about 10 years ago. I was immediately drawn to it. It's just evolved ever since, and really excited about opportunities I have to kind of talk about programmatic to folks, because it's I think when you hear the term programmatic, it's kind of, we love buzzwords in our industry. So you ask 100 people what they think programmatic is, you're going to get 100 different answers. And so I like to talk with people and see how programmatic can fit into their organization, maybe help them again reach more people and some fun new channels with some new tactics that they might be not be used to using.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure there's many people, this is definitely a buzz term we've all heard for the past few years, but you may still feel like, I know I've heard it, but I'm not entirely sure what it is or how to use it. So hopefully we'll answer that today. If you are joining us for the first time, you can make sure to ask any questions, post them in the comments. If you're not joining us live, you're watching this after the fact, still throw your questions in the comments. We love to hear them. If anything, just let us know where you are joining us today. We'd love to know that as well. But I'm going to jump in with some questions that I have for Johnathan. So my first question is, what types of advertisers, in your opinion, are a good fit for programmatic?
So, all types of advertisers are a good fit, but I think to really leverage the platform and the technology, you have to have some budget to spend. I think you're generally going to need to have probably about $5,000 to $10,000 worth of test budget, which I know that can be a bit of a stretch for some smaller organizations. But and I think anybody who is out there who knows, they feel like they've gotten all they can out of what they're currently doing, and want to find some new ways to engage both their target audiences, their CRM, or potential end market audiences for their product or service. So I think really what it comes down to is it's generally good for medium to large size advertisers. But I do think there are some opportunities, and we can talk about it a little bit, down the line, but for small advertisers as well.
Fantastic. I know it's something that I personally haven't had a chance to get into yet, but I have looked into a lot, and I'm excited about all the opportunities that it offers. But for me, I just haven't had the opportunity yet. But what do you think are the biggest barriers to programmatic adoption for companies?
Yeah, so one I already alluded to is cost. I think it can be a bit cost prohibitive, especially some of these channels when you look at connected TV and digital audio and digital out of home, that it's hard to track the ROI. When you have, you can track, with last click attribution, it's a lot easier. So I think venturing into the unknown, I think makes it a little bit harder for organizations. And again, you're asking someone to make a significant investment to some companies, especially for a smaller organization, just something that's kind of hard to track. I think it can be hard to get into. And I think the other thing is just resources. There's agencies out there, and then there's platforms out there that can help you with the resource side of things, but that makes it even more expensive to kind of get into it, which can make it hard. So I think it really kind of comes down to cost and resources. Human resources really is kind of like the two biggest barriers that I see people having before getting into programmatic.
Gotcha. So for those that maybe even are a little bit already doing programmatic, and for those that aren't doing it at all, what is the next big trend in programmatic?
So, connected TV, OTT is, here. I mean, I'm sure everyone watching this has at least heard of it before, but I think the next big thing, in my opinion, is digital out of home. I think especially as we get out, hopefully get past this pandemic, or getting past it now, and people start resuming at least more or less their normal activities, there's a lot of really cool opportunities in digital out of home. And what I mean by digital out of home, to define it a little bit further, is people kind of confuse it with being digital billboards on the side of a highway. Well, that is a component, but it's really kind of any connected screen that's out of the home. So this includes digital billboards, exercise equipment, cardio equipment at the gym is a place. I know my gym has equipment. Both a lot of the cardio equipment has digital screens that cycle through ads occasionally. They're popular in doctors' offices, mass transit stops, airports. I mean, the list kind of goes on. I mean, I was actually filling up my gas tank at a newer gas station recently, and saw there's a small screen about this big on each gas tank that was cycling through ads. It's another digital out of home opportunity as well. And it's cool because you can leverage kind of aggregated mobile data to kind of get an idea of the types of audiences that are in front of these out of home locations at any given time. So I think there's a lot of really cool things that you can do to reach people, especially if you have a physical location that you're trying to drive people to, and you kind of have an idea of where your audience is. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff to be done there.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes when you start to think about all the different devices and screens that you see, you're like, wait, I probably saw way more screens when I was out and about, even just grocery shopping or something, running errands, than you even think about. So we're very excited to have you as one of our breakout session speakers at this year's conference. And you have a very special session called Thinking Outside the Box, Effective Digital Strategies Beyond Email, Facebook, and Google. Can you tell those who are attending the conference or thinking about attending the conference what they could expect to learn during your breakout session?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, email, Facebook, and Google are kind of a foundation for any digital marketer. I mean, everyone's there, and for good reason. They're great platforms. So by no means am I going to try and convince people that you need to be out of those things. They're a thing of the past. But by no means is that going to be what we're going to talk about. But the fact that everybody's there means you have a lot of competition. Your competition's there. A lot of people that aren't even in your industry but are trying to target the same audience as you are going to be there. So a lot of people we talk to are noticing, costs for type and search are getting more expensive. To get, the premium placements in the news feed and Facebook is getting more expensive. To stand out in a crowded inbox is getting more challenging. So I think what we're going to talk about, during my session, are different channels that you can look at to kind of get outside of that box and again engage audiences that you're trying to target on different platforms. So the digital landscape is changing. I have a nice infographic that I'll have in my session that shows kind of how people have. So people are connected to about 13 different connected devices right now. And when you think about it, you have a laptop, mobile phones. Some people have work issued laptops, mobile phones, connected TV, tablets, all that kind of stuff. And so the amount of time people are spending connected is really diversifying. So for example, about 16% of people's time are spent streaming on connected TV devices. which, I mean, 5 years ago would have been a very small amount, just kind of show how things are changing rapidly. So, we'll talk about these different channels. The rapid adoption, especially the pandemic, has really pulled forward a lot of that adoption, and different ways that advertisers can leverage those platforms, either to go direct, like they go direct to Google or go direct to Facebook, or through a programmatic platform to kind of manage all of these different publishers and platforms and channels programmatically through one platform.
Awesome. Well, this sounds like a really exciting session, to say the least, and something that I think we're all going to be focusing a lot more moving forward, especially as we start getting out of the house more too, like you said. So if you are attending MDMC, or thinking about attending, you actually get access to over 70 breakout sessions in addition to the 14 live sessions, and then last year's sessions as well. So they get a lot of content, to say the least, for a year. But how do they know if this is a session that they need to make sure that they add to their list, that it's applicable or relevant for them right now?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And I think it's something that can speak to a lot of different people. So I think if you're newer to marketing, if you're a student or something like that, and you've used Facebook forever, so you kind of have an idea of what social is, but you're kind of wondering what some of these emerging platforms are at, and you kind of want to learn more, I think it'd be a good learning opportunity. I think if you're an advanced digital marketer who maybe has tried programmatic or scratched the surface, or attempted some connected TV, but you're wondering maybe how digital audio can play off of that or something like that, and want to learn more about how you can go deeper into programmatic, I think it's a good session for those folks as well. So I think there's something for everybody, to be honest. But I think yeah, I think there's a little something for everybody in this session.
Fantastic. So definitely want to make sure that you add this to your list to watch early on in the conference, but you will have access to it if you have your basic or ultimate ticket. You will have access to it for a year, so you can reference back to it as maybe you are just getting started with programmatic and you need to jump back in and get some advice. And then I just want to ask you, Jonathan, are there any speakers that you're excited to see this year? I know we have a lot.
Well, I was going to say, I'm really glad that we have access to all this content for a year, because there's a lot of content to get to. And I'm not just saying that. There's such a wide range. Being a small business owner myself, I'm always excited to see what other consultants and small businesses have to offer, because they're, again, no offense to the bigger companies out there or anything like that. I mean, there are great products, everything like that. But I'm always interested to see creative things that the agencies and small organizations are doing for their clients, because there always seems to be some kind of interesting stuff that I've never been thought of that can come out of some of those sessions. So I'm real excited to tune into some of those.
So fantastic. All right. So I don't see any questions right now. Maybe everybody's like, I need to get into programmatic. I'm not sure where to get started. If you have any questions, though, make sure to throw them in the comments. If you haven't checked out the conference yet, just head over to bestmarketingconference.com. It is quickly approaching. We're only about 2 weeks off, or 2 weeks out. There are 2 free days that you do not have to pay for. They are completely free. There's 7 sessions each day. It's 28th and 29th of this month. We have speakers like TikTok, a speaker from the Social Dilemma, Facebook. So make sure to sign up definitely for at least the free version, but we also have our basic and ultimate tickets that also come with workshops and the access to over 70 sessions from this year, including Jonathan's session on programmatic. And you can also just check out all the speakers and the schedule. It might be a little overwhelming, but I promise it is packed full of great content. I see Sarah says, great talk and information. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us today. I agree. I definitely learned a lot too about programmatic. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jonathan, for joining me today. I had so much fun chatting with you about programmatic.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me. And I look forward to participating in the conference and learning more from all the other great speakers you have in the lineup.
Awesome, fantastic. Well, I'll see you guys next week for our last Facebook Live before the conference kicks off. Thanks, everybody.